Hello everyone, so in my last video I bought this little heatsink here for the Raspberry Pi, and in testing it only really cooled the processor maybe by a couple of degrees at most. So what I did is I went out and bought this small fan. I think it's from a Dell laptop, and I'm trying to connect it to the Raspberry Pi. It came with this little connector here, a standard fan connector for a laptop, and what I've done is cut the end off and put in here, cut the yellow link cable, because that's used for controlling the speed, which we don't need. I've kept the red cable for 5 volts and kept the black cable for ground, and I've put these little connectors on the end here so I can plug it into the little GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi there. So luckily, as it's a 5 volt fan, I can plug it straight into the GPIO, which provides 5 volts. The fan, I don't think you can see the model number there, but I'll put it in the comments, the fan model number. Yeah, so what you can do is you can plug in the Raspberry Pi has that set up for the GPIO, and you can see the top right is 5 volts and the third one down is the ground. So on the Raspberry Pi here, all we have to do is match those up with these cables here. So plug in the 5 volt cable into the one on the end here and the ground to the third pin along. And one problem I seem to having is, at the minute you can see the Raspberry Pi is running okay at the minute on the TV. As soon as I plug in this ground pin, into the right one, it cuts off, but the fan turns on just there. So the fan's now spinning, but the Raspberry Pi is turned off. So I'm not sure why that happens, but if anyone knows, let me know. I'll cut back in when the Raspberry Pi's on. Okay, so I've had the Raspberry Pi on for a good few minutes now. I have the same sort of setup as last time, where over SSH over here I'm running the sysbench commands to calculate the primes, so it's using up a lot of CPU, and at the minute it's at 47 degrees there. It seems to be stabilised around that. That's with the fan plugged in but off the heatsink at the minute. So what I've done is I've put a bit of double-sided tape on the bottom of the fan just to sort of temporarily hold it in place. So if I put it on the heatsink here now, hopefully it will stay there. Okay, and now if we look at the temperature, you should see it decrease, and it usually decreases to the high 30s maybe. But this processor is running at 1 GHz with the new Raspbian image. Okay, so overall, without the heatsink on or the fan on, it would run with the sysbench command running at around 52 degrees. With the heatsink on, with the fan not on, it would run around 47 degrees maybe. And then with the fan on and the heatsink on, both on, it goes to around 35, so it drops it just over 10 degrees more. So if you're looking to overclock the Raspberry Pi by a great deal, it may be good to put a fan on like this to cool it down, maybe overclock it some more. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to try and overclock the CPU a lot more and see how fast I can make it run while keeping it at a safe temperature.